presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Kansas City.
And that is a milestone RBI for Kendrys Morales. That is number 500. Ooh, blast into center field. Back goes Chris. It is gone.
Waiter, check please.
Royals baseball from California's East Bay. It's the Royals and the Oakland A's, and it's a very busy day in Oakland, California. We will be on the left. On the right, the defending champ Golden State Warriors are playing a playoff game. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals have won 4 straight on this road trip. They are 8-2 now for 2 consecutive seasons, but doing it a little differently this year.
They are, Rhino, but the one thing that does not change this ball club, that's the energy, the joy, the passion that they play with. Now we'll show you some numbers that'll show you the offense, hey, not exactly where they were last year, but the record's the same, but look at the pitching, that'll tell you. Pitching and defense wins championships. Look at that starter's ERA. That's getting it done. But love to watch these guys play with that energy.
They are our Honda most trusted team. A rare off day for Salvador Perez, but a time for him to go deep and talk about why the Royals win.
You know what? We just trying to be back in the playoffs. We're gonna play hard, you know, every day, and we see, and we're still the same hungry and last year.
Why do you think this team comes out ready to play every single day?
Because we enjoy play. A lot of things. We grow up together in minor league, and we like to win, you know, and we always play hard no matter what.
Perfect.
It's a brotherhood. It goes a lot deeper than just teammates with this team. Salvi said it. They grew up together, they won down there, and they had to take their lumps early, but now they're world champs, and believe it, other teams know it. They have a swagger, and sometimes that swagger gets those wins we're seeing.
And we thank Mike Moustakas for those hard-hitting questions. He is back in the lineup after getting a night off last night. The Royals will face Sonny Gray of the A's. Chris Young will pitch for the Royals. The lineups and the first pitch, they're coming up next. Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. The Golden Gate Bridge looking into Sausalito, and now we have an aerial shot above the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. A lot of fans at the complex today. Some here, most are at the arena as the Golden State Warriors, the defending NBA champs, are hosting the Houston Rockets, and they're out to an early lead. A lot of the fans here today have their radios on, keeping close tabs on that game. The Royals won last night 4-2. So they are 4-1 on this trip, having won the last 4 games. And last night's victory began with an Alcides Escobar walk.
107.
A shocker of all shockers, him and Salvi both walking in the same game. Whatever it takes. They're facing a young guy, Rhino, today that's really got some life to his pitches. Now, every hitter in Ned's lineup facing him today, outside of Butera and Ray Fuentes, have gotten a hit off of him. But this kid, he's got great movement. Everything's down. Curveball, slider, changeup. He's a 5-pitch guy when you include the cutter. Curveballs down in the zone, 2 and 4 seamers down. This guy likes to pound the strike zone in the lower part of the zone.
He took a no decision against the Royals early last year. In fact, almost exactly a year ago. Look at that, 11 hits. That's the most he's ever allowed in a start. And the Royals were a very clutch team against Sonny Gray. Of the 4 runs they scored, 3 came with 2 outs.
I got Esky at 2 for 9 in his career off of Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray got some pretty good velocity. He'll go 92 to 94.
Got it in on his hands. Going to be a tough play. Down for a hit. Tough play no matter what. And then Lowry going back had to deal with the sun.
And you could tell by the way he drifted on that ball that he was having a hard time. They'll tell you players it's the highest blue sky in the league. See, he's drifting on that ball and didn't get back on it in time. You gotta bust a little hard. Of course, if you can't see it, you have a hard time seeing it. It's a different thing. But Escobar, the king of those type of hits.
Mike Moustakas got his first game off last night. And the Royals are running. And Fegley doesn't even bother with a throw. So that was a stolen base against Gray. And Escobar has stolen 3 this year. He also had a stolen base last night.
Yeah, he'll take it. Good jump, good takeaway. And this is off a good athlete. Sonny Gray has quick feet. He has a quick move over to first base. He'll mix in some occasional long holds, and that kind of disrupts the timing of the runner. But right there, Escobar just caught him by surprise and ripped him off first pitch. Helps when the left-handed batter is in that box. The catcher can't always see the guy getting a jump. Now get him over.
1 ball, 1 strike. Moustakas leads the Royals with 3 home runs. And the last game he played in Thursday night in Houston, he homered in the first. The Royals have scored in the first inning in 3 of the 5 games on this road trip. And now they have a runner at second with nobody out.
Talked about how Sonny Gray likes to pound the zone down. He loves to try to keep his ball down so when they do make contact, it doesn't get in the air. But Moustakas, and it also comes inside, so Moose can look in there. Likes to come into lefties and righties. Pitches inside effectively.
That's what the Astros were doing that whole series. 1 pitch after another inside, and then he finally turned on one and homered to right.
Yeah, and with nobody out, he wants to pull it over. Move him over. So do the little things here.
A lot of foul ground. Fegley and Valencia, and they collide, but Fegley hangs on to it. One down.
Okay, when you're running for a ball like that in this grounds, you can get a good full head of steam. And Valencia needs to be calling for that. He needs to be running Fegley off of that ball. He's a third baseman. He's in charge. He needs to really be vocal. I didn't see him calling it at all.
Neither did I.
You have to really take charge there and make sure he knows you're coming. Better angle for the third baseman, but still nice play by Fegley.
And Valencia is still feeling it. Fegley went right into his left arm, which was fully extended. So one out to Lorenzo Cain, who was on base 3 times last night. That is foul off to the right field side.
I guarantee you Moose is not happy about that. You want to try to advance that runner if you can, but Lorenzo Cain, he's a typical number 3 hitter. He can drive him in. He's got 5 ribbies on the year. 2 for 4 in his career against Sonny Gray.
Four of those 5 RBIs have been on this trip, including one last night. He drove in one of the 2 runs in the first inning last night against lefty Rich Hill. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Loves that cut, or that 2-seam fastball in.
How was that concert?
Sonny Gray is 5'10", going up against Chris Young today, who is 6'10", and Gray is 10 years younger than Chris Young, 26 years old. First round pick of the A's out of Vanderbilt. He was scheduled to be the A's opening day starter, but he was scratched because of food poisoning. So Rich Hill, who pitched last night, started opening day for the A's. Sonny Gray was on Ned Yost's all-star team last year in Cincinnati and finished 3rd last season for the American League Cy Young winner. 1-2 on Cain. And to try and tie him up inside. And it's out over the plate and into center field. So Sonny Gray didn't hit his spot. Cain makes him pay for that. And for the 4th time in 6 games on this road trip, the Royals score in the 1st inning.
And for the 2nd time in consecutive nights, the Oakland A's gave up a run in the 1st, and they hadn't all year. Sonny Gray, he tipped with his glove right away from Marcus Semien. So Lorenzo Cain, he caught a break there. As far as an RBI goes, it's his 6th. Nice piece of hit.
You know, and if you don't watch the Royals every day, let's say you're an A's fan and you're watching the game and you go, oh man, that's kind of a lucky hit. You know, pitch was down and away, didn't get a full swing. You know, lucky spot, but that's theirs avoiding the strikeout, putting the ball in play, not trying to do too much. That happens every game for the Royals.
You're exactly right. And their opponents know it, but they can't do anything about it except execute your pitches. And when you don't, they make you pay. They'll find a hole, they'll find a way. But there's a key to it, because you mentioned it. They're not trying to hit a 3-run homer. They're trying to just, you know, play pepper with it and put it back into play. That's why Lorenzo Cain's established himself now as a legitimate number 3 hitter in the big leagues.
Speaking of not trying to hit a homer, Eric Hosmer in the 9th inning last night had a nice easy swing, and he did hit a homer, his 1st of the year. The straightaway center field against Sean Doolittle, who had just come into the game to face Hosmer.
I'm surprised that there's not a hole in that center field cement wall out there. And Lorenzo, he got an extra big jump there. Check it out here. Never seen a ball hit off the wall here, the back wall, center field, and bounce halfway to the infield. Incredible shot. Would have loved to have the exit velocity on that, because that ball probably was hit about 115 miles an hour off the bat.
And now Kane will move up as Fegley couldn't handle the Sonny Gray curveball. Hud, you sat with me this afternoon when I talked to Ned Yost on the radio side, and Ned and I were discussing Eric Hosmer. We have seen far fewer wild swing out of his shoes type of swings this year, much more controlled, and as a result he's hitting .325 right now.
Yeah, and you know what Ned was saying, and I agree with him, it's maturity. He's seen a lot of pitches. He knows which pitches to swing at and which ones he doesn't. He's not up there guessing, flailing and bailing. He's got a much better idea. Look at, he's controlled with that front leg. It sets it down. He picks it up, sets it down, but no head movement. I love that. This year we're seeing Haas's head stay still. And when your head stays still, your body stays still. And then he just short and compact to the ball. Dangerous up the middle into the opposite field. He's not the kind of hitter looking to pull something out of the yard. Just keeps his hands inside. Good pitch.
Gray gets him with a fastball up, and they're 2 down. You know, watching that side swing from Hosmer there, just his follow through makes your point how short and compact that swing was. Watch how short the follow through is, Hud.
Yeah, hitters call that he's sticking it, he stuck it, and you know, didn't have a big wraparound on the follow through, but it's controlled. And talking with Hosmer before the game, when him and Morales were stretching the side of the batting cage, Haas goes, "Hey, I hit that one like this guy does." He was talking about Morales.
Sonny Gray has one of the best curveballs in the major leagues. Just ask Kendrys Morales after that first pitch. Kendrys trying to drive in another run with 2 outs. Our Kubota power numbers. The Royals, who were so good with 2 outs last year, struggled in the first 8 games, at least for their standards. But now in the last 2 games, hitting just under .380. Kane's at second with 2 down. And now it's 0-2.
Sonny Gray throws you that curveball, it's going to be down. He rarely misses up with it. It's a swing and miss pitch. He's trying to get you to chase. He'll do that with a lot of his fastballs too. He relies on chase. And that was the one good pitch for Morales there. I don't think you'll see another one. Try that, go back to that curveball again.
1-2. Sonny Gray, good right-hand pitcher who is tough on left-hand hitting. Fastball got the inside. So with that curveball in the back of the hitter's mind, Sonny Gray gets 2 strikeouts in the first with his fastball. But the Royals get a run. Escobar puts the ball in play with 2 strikes. So does Lorenzo Cain, and the Royals lead 1-0.
Escobar's going good.
Does that make you hungry?
Absolutely.
Wow, look at that. Those are Joel's buddies.
I wonder if Goldberg's going to find his way up there amongst those right field bleacher creatures out there.
Yeah, he'll get hungry somewhere between 2 and 3 this afternoon, and he'll be out there in right field. Here's the A's starting lineup. The A's have scored a total of 10 runs in their last 5 games. They are hitting 186 in their last 5 games. And they're going to face Chris Young today. Billy Burns leads off. Burns got the night off last night. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And there was something missing from their lineup last night, and it just kind of slipped my mind. I forgot about this guy here, Burns. This guy, he's an action player. He's like a left-handed hitter, Altuve. Guy that pressures defenses with his speed, makes the infielders think about moving in a little bit because he hustles so hard to first base. Any hits to the outfield, to the left or to the right of the fielder, he's going to take off to second.
2-2 on Burns, who's a switch hitter and had his breakout season last year, taking advantage of all the time that Coco Crisp spent on the disabled list. Still 2-2.
And he's a guy who took advantage of that time. Whenever somebody goes down and you're sitting on that pine and you're warming the bench and somebody goes down, now it's your turn. It's your turn to shine. And sometimes you get that opportunity and you never give it back to the guy. That's the idea. Look at that swing.
And that was a fastball from Chris Young, and Burns just went with it. And we felt like Chris was hurt by his fastball more than any other pitch when he pitched on Monday at Houston.
Well, he's going to have to find that release point and location on that pitch, because that's down the middle of the plate. Usually when Young's going good, he throws that fastball borderline belt high above the belt, and then keeps it on the corners, and then he mixes in his slider and an occasional changeup, but the slider keeps the guys off of the fastball.
Close. Boy, he had Burns bouncing around over at first base and almost timed it perfectly.
And every team that faces Young knows that they can steal off of him. He just takes his time getting the ball home. He's not real focused on the guys, but he keeps them honest with a nice quick move there. Good feet. Remember, Chris Young, he had a chance to be an NBA basketball player if he chose. So he's got quick feet, and he's a fine athlete. Just doesn't care much about the runners. He's keeping Burns. He knows Burns is going to go.
Burns started, stopped, and Semien takes a strike. Semien has homered 4 times already. He batted 9th in last night's game and was 1 for 3 with a walk. And now hitting second today. Burns runs. Timeout had been called. And I assume by the hitter Semien. See if we can get a look at it here. But Semien, who just reading his body language right now, I think he's the one that cost Billy Burns a stolen base. Yep.
Well, you know, that kind of bothers me a little bit, and I know it does some pitchers, but the home plate umpire, today it's Quinn Wolcott, does not have to grant him timeout, especially that close to the delivery.
And a strike.
Just because the hitter asked for time doesn't mean you have to give it to him, but because Wolcott called time, that cost Burns a bag.
So Chris Young, keeping an eye on Burns, has jumped ahead 0-2 on Semien. In baseball, for whatever reason, when scouts evaluate a player, they use a 20 to 80 scale, 20 being the lowest, 80 being major league all-star level. Even asking Art Stewart about that, I don't know why they've gone with that system forever, but Billy Burns is an 80, and there are very few players whether you're talking about pitching, defense, speed, hitting, very few get an 80. But Burns is one of those guys. So he's Dyson Gore-like with his speed. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Semien.
If you're an 80 in anything in Major League Baseball, that's something. That's saying something.
2-2 on Semien. Yeah, there are a lot of 70s and 75s when evaluating, pitcher's velocity, his breaking ball, a defensive player's range, his arm, a hitter's power, average, whatever. But yeah, scouts, when they give somebody an 80, that is very rare. Not running, and the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2.
Well, we're seeing Chris Young here early in this game, just his second batter, spend more time on Billy Burns than we've seen in a long time. Normally he doesn't throw that many times over to first. Now what's that, the 5th time, 6th time now he's thrown over. So what that's done, it's disrupted Young's rhythm. And that's what speed does. And the Royals do that to their opponents, and now Burns is doing it early here to Young. It's taking him out of his game. When you take your focus off of that hitter, that's when the hitter can hurt you. And Young knows all that. He knows that.
Burns takes off, and Semien takes ball 4. So the count at one point was 0-2 on Semien. And now the A's have runners at first and second with nobody out.
Batting in the 3rd position, right fielder, number 22, Josh Reddick.
As we look at the Royals defensively today, Gordon, Kane, Fuentes in right. Fuentes starts for the first time since Monday. Mike Moustakas is back in the lineup with Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer. And Drew Butera gives Salvador Perez the afternoon off. Now Josh Reddick, and the slider is taken for a strike. Reddick had a first inning double last night against Volquez. The A's did not turn that into a run. And he finished the night 1 for 3 with a walk. Blasted into right field and gone. Josh Reddick has hit a 3-run home run.
Young just having a hard time in this first inning after being distracted by Billy Burns. That's all I can say. He just wasn't able to get, he's not able to get into his rhythm early. And before you know it, it's 3-0. And Reddick.
Well, was that even a strike, Hud? I mean, that thing was way up and in.
Well, see, they're looking for that. Every day before the game, after batting practice, usually, they have a hitters meeting. And Darren Bush is their hitting coach. And so he told those guys, this guy throws high fastballs. Be looking for him. And where that was.
Sharply hit to Infante. Hosmer had to come off the bag to get Valencia 1 down.
The pitch to him that Reddick hit out was up and in, but Young doesn't have that 93, 94, 95 mile an hour fastball that he can blow it by guys, so he's got to really be fine with his location.
Designated hitter, number 21, Stephen.
So a single, a walk, and now the 3-run home run. 1 down to Stephen Vogt, who's the A's DH today. He's their regular catcher. This is a 3rd straight start for Chris Young this year, where he's been hurt by a home run. In his first start, he only gave up 2 runs, but both on a home run by Neil Walker. When he pitched on Monday at Houston, Colby Rasmus hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. And now Josh Reddick, a 3-run shot in the first inning today. Stephen Vogt homered in the game last night. Hit that off of Volquez in the second inning. He finished with 3 hits and 2 runs scored.
Stephen Vogt is a fan favorite here.
Out into right center. Kane and Fuentes both calling for it. So no collision out there, but that's the second time that, although I think Kane was calling for it verbally and he's also waving his arms, but in the top of the first we saw a couple of A's collide on a high pop-up.
Yeah, no, that's a great sign of communication there, and Fuentes, not having played that much out there with Lorenzo Cain and hungry to catch the ball, didn't realize that the future Gold Glover was all over that. You yield to Lorenzo Cain, and he was yelling, waving his arm, and that's what you do. Everything possible to tell your teammate, I got it, stay away from the collision.
I like that Fuentes was close, though, because you can lose the ball in the sun here. We've already seen Fuentes bail out Kane this year on opening day as Lowry goes into center field with a 2-out single.
That makes Jed Lowry now 5 for 11 in his career off of Young.
Chris Davis, he drove in one of the A's runs last night, 1 for 3 with a walk in his first year with Oakland, coming over from Milwaukee in a trade where he hit 27 home runs last year. Slider gets the outside, 0-1.
That's the pitch he's going to have to utilize and locate in order to keep those Oakland A's off of that fastball. It's got to be able to establish that slider. It's a good one. It breaks down. It's straight down. It's not like it's a flat slider. The ones that stay flat like that, they get hit more. That downward action is tough to hit.
Back right with that pitch.
Yeah, stay with it. If he can just hold him right there and settle in and start hitting his spots, it'll allow the Royals offense to come back, hopefully.
And then a high fastball puts Davis away. So the Royals get 1 in the first. The A's get 3. 3-1 Oakland at the end of 1. Alex Gordon leads off the second when we come back.
Fans arriving on the BART train today to watch the A's and the Warriors. Joel Goldberg back here at the Coliseum, and Salvador Perez, an off day, the first of the year for him. And so we had a chance to have Salvi on the pregame show today. But also Rex Hudler extended an invitation last night to Salvi. He said, look, if you've got the day off, if you want, why don't you take the BART train down with me? And so Salvi thought that would be a good idea. They invited me, So there we are, taking the train today. I had an absolute blast. I'm very glad, as is Salvi, that they invited me, because what Salvi and I learned today, Ryan, was that HUD had no idea how to get anywhere. So he invited him to take the train, but then had no idea what stop, which train, how to get the ticket, which gate to go through, and all of that. So HUD, we were there to help out. And needless to say, Salvi had a blast with this one. I think he was Snapchatting, Instagramming, tweeting, and on and on and on the whole time. Very good experience. And Salvi having a blast on an off day, although he, of course, will always admit he would rather be playing.
Who took that picture?
That was actually a gentleman from France that HUD made friends with. Shocking. The guy was sitting in front of him, had just flown in from France with his kids yesterday, 2-week vacation, and HUD was explaining baseball to him. The guy was taking his kids to the Warriors game.
And did the guy from France know how to use the BART and where to go?
I think he didn't need any help or directions.
Yep.
Hey now, wait.
It's kind of like, you know, when HUD says, hey, let's go out to eat. And then, oh, man, I forgot my wallet.
I know, I'm not like that. But look, it was busy. I was distracted this morning. We were at the train station. A lot of people, big events going on here in Oakland, in both this multi-stadium complex, man. And I was distracted. And by the time Goldberg got his ticket and Salvi got his, I didn't want to have to think this morning. So I just said, hey, here's my money. Get my ticket for me.
Yeah, and there were two things that concerned me, though, HUD. One was we walked out of the hotel and you were leading and made a right, but we needed to go left. And then the other one was you put the ticket in one spot and it comes out the other, and Salvi had to show you that you're putting it in the place where it comes out. You need to put it in here. So good thing Salvi was there to pick you up.
Infante rounds is short. Well, let's hear what Salvi had to say about Rex's traveling skills.
Bad, sorry, but bad. He tell you everything to do. He don't know where he's going, but finally you bring me to the stadium today.
Well, what do you call HUD? What's his name?
Loco. Loco.
Now, why are you guys on me today? I didn't do anything. Just wanted to go to the yard. Now, there's a reason I asked Goldberg to come, though.
Well,
I asked Joel. Joel, will you come?
No, I mean, no reason we're getting on you other than the fact that we didn't want you to lose our Gold Glove and All-Star catcher. I mean,
that's why I asked Joel to come.
I mean, imagine Salvi walking around Berkeley right now asking people where the Coliseum is.
Well, you know, if you take the wrong BART train, it could take you way out, and that would have made him late to the ballpark. So I knew I wasn't exactly sure the route. So I said, Goldie, you come with us. And he said, all right.
Honestly, I think that he's the one guy that could have been late today because he's not working. It was you and I that needed to be here for the broadcast. And by the way, that little foul ball there that just dribbled over by the first base coach's box, Salvi, the first one out of the dugout trying to get it. The ball boy beat him to it.
The energy that kid has is amazing. He is a breath of fresh air. He's a 100% sold out baseball player, and that's what you want. Oh, nice.
Fuentes goes the other way and does so with 2 strikes. Fuentes started Monday against the Astros, and then Paulo Orlando got 4 consecutive starts.
Look, it doesn't try to do too much here. Recognizes it and just goes with it. Boy, that's a beautiful swing. Remember Dave Martinez?
Yeah.
Okay, that swing right there reminded me of Dave Martinez. He's Joe Madden's bench coach for the Cubs now. And Dave was a left-handed hitter that had, you know, some pop, but he could go to the opposite field just like that. Recognize the pitch, keep your hands inside the ball and shoot it to left. Great swing.
This is Drew Butera's second at bat of the year, and the Royals are playing their 11th game. So Salvi gets his first day off. Ned Yost in Houston told Salvador Perez, I'm going to give you a day off in Oakland. Now, which game do you want? Do you want Friday after flying all night from Houston to Oakland on Thursday night, or would you like to go the day game after the night game? And Salvi probably knows, he's been doing this long enough, that it's not always the first day after the tough travel. Sometimes it's the second day, and you factor in the day game after the night game. So Salvi played last night and chipped in with a hit and a walk.
So asking Ned before the game, Ned, being a bench player like I was, you play once a week, it sure was helpful when a manager would give me a heads up the night before saying, hey, you're in there tomorrow. Do you do that? And he said, I try to do that as much as I can. Sometimes you just don't know the health of your guys, so you got to wait. But if I know for sure, yeah, I'll give the guy a heads up. Makes a big difference. Butera could prepare. He knew he was going to get a chance to start today, and so he did everything appropriately. Now, most players in the big leagues come to the ballpark ready to play, and that's what your manager wants. He wants that readiness. So he does. So you don't have to tell every guy you're in there tomorrow. He expects you to be ready. Fuentes, see him steal a bag.
Some late movement. 2-2 on Butera. Alcides Escobar opened the game with a single and then stole second. Lorenzo Cain got him home for the Royals run, and then Oakland got a 3-run home run from Josh Reddick in the bottom of the first. Fuentes takes off, and Butera fouls it away.
I liked how Butera stayed inside the ball, trying to stroke it to right. Fuentes, with a nice jump, has a start to his lead with an open right foot. A lot of base stealers like to open that front side up so it gives them the hip turn before they actually take off from when they're squared up. And so he just drops that foot back.
Not running this time, and Butera lays off the breaking ball. 3-2.
Let's take a look at Fuentes' start. See how this right side is open. His right foot is open. His hips are already open, so it helps him get to full speed quicker. Butera has a nice first at bat here. He's grinding. He might win it.
Fouled away again.
You like that. He is hungry. Taking the at bat like it could be his last one he ever gets. That's the mentality of a player who gets to play once a week. Gotta love that. He's batting.
Choking up with 2 strikes.
7 pitches here. He's gonna win it. Swung at ball 4. Let's see if he can get on.
Pulled behind Mike Jerschele. So he will see at least 9 pitches in this at bat.
Ray Fuentes, he's getting a little workout here early. Taking off, running on these pitches that are being fouled off. Butera, he's fouled one down the right field line. He's pulled one down the left field line. There's only one thing left. Right back up the middle.
And he takes a walk.
Ball 4.
And Sonny Gray has thrown 41 pitches. Anytime a pitcher is averaging 20 or more pitches per inning, that's bad.
Now batting.
That's a lot. That means a short outing for him.
Escobar.
So no matter what the Royals do in this inning, they want to get some runs back after the A's got 3. They are accomplishing something and running up Gray's pitch count.
Better believe it, they are battling. That could be a key walk there if Escobar can come through.
Grounds it out to short. Semien will go the short way, and they get the force on Butera. So the Royals strand 2 in the second inning. I don't see HUD leading them anywhere. After leaving Kansas City, the Oakland A's won 3 consecutive World Series, 72, 73, and 74. And while they did struggle last year, winning just 68 games. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. If you go back to that first year, only the Yankees and Braves have won more division titles than the Oakland A's. Of course, the Braves had that historic run when they won 14 in a row. This is Yonder Alonso. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alonso was 0 for 4 in last night's game, and that drops his batting average under 100. 2 balls and 1 strike. That was big, I'm sure, for the morale of the A's dugout to get that 3-run home run in the bottom of the first inning. And there's a base hit into left field for Alonso. It rolls deep, but he will hold with a single. The offense is struggling, and I was looking at some of the individuals before the game. This was prior to today's game, and Alonso just snapped his. But Yonder Alonso, 0 for his last 13. Billy Butler, 0 for his last 8. Mark Canha, 0 for his last 9. Chris Coghlan, 0 for his last 19. Coco Crisp, 0 for his last 11.
Ooh,
Jed
man.
Lowry, 0 for his last 8. And Marcus Semien is the only guy who's hitting. He had a 5-game hitting streak. That's a lot of guys slumping at the same time.
Better believe that. And you know, the players, they don't stress as much this time of year as the new hitting coach, Darren Bush. The hitting coach is the one that's a little tight and like, oh, come on guys, let's get you going.
Slider is outside to Josh Phegley, A's catcher, number 9 hitter. There's that pitch Hud was talking about last inning, which will be key for Chris Young. That slider away from the right-hand batters.
Pushes his fastball up underneath, stays underneath the ball, and for his high fastballs makes it difficult for hitters to pick up. But then he drops the slider on him and keeps him honest, like that one right there.
Hosmer. Did he tag him out? They're going to say no. And Hosmer says, well, what about the baseline? Brian Gorman is the first base umpire. So Alonso goes to second. And at the moment, the A's have 2 on, nobody out. Hosmer immediately, Hud, didn't seem to be arguing whether he tagged him or not. And it appears he didn't. He just wants to know about the path that Phegley took to first.
Yeah, now just a tad bit of not sure. Young looked a little hesitant to pick up the ball. He knew Hosmer was coming in, and so this is a perfectly placed swing.
Hosmer and Chris Young weren't quite on the same page as to who was going to field that ground ball and who was going to cover it first.
Yeah, Young got off the mound with no trouble at all. I didn't see any fault with Chris Young there. It was just one of those plays that Phegley did a nice job as an in-betweener, we call him. It's a tough play there. Haas, very athletic, quick on his feet. Phegley, you got to give it to him. He threw his legs outside of the box there, the running lane, but he's able to keep his hands close to the bag. And a good call by Brian Gorman. It's a heck of a call.
Yeah, he missed him by about 2 inches.
Yeah, but he was in great position.
Right.
You can see how he kind of went on the second base side of first base, and he was able to see that little space between Hosmer's glove and the jersey.
Billy Burns got it started for the A's in the first inning with a single to left field. Then Semien walked, followed by Reddick's 3-run home run. So for the second straight inning, the A's have 2 on with nobody out. The Royals thought that Burns might bunt. So they had Moustakas in and Hosmer in until the count got to 2 strikes. But that is not the A's way of doing things. That part of that Moneyball study The A's, like a lot of teams, feel like that the sacrifice is not worth it, especially in the early innings. Play for the big inning as opposed to essentially giving the defense an out.
Well, it's all good if you have the same personnel and you have guys that are used to playing with each other, but the way Oakland scrambles their roster every year with different players coming in and out, I mean, it's tough to find any kind of continuity in finding your identity. Who are you? I mean, they don't even know who they are yet.
They are really the anti-Royals. You know, the Royals really wanted a lot of young guys from their system coming up together, playing with one another, knowing what to expect from one another. And the A's the past few years have just been just cobbled together with players from other organizations.
Trades, free agency. As a result, it's going to take them some time to find out their identity. The Royals know exactly who they are.
Nice short swing just to make contact with 2 strikes.
So Young, he's not much into inducing ground ball double plays either. High fastball pitcher he is. So what he'd like here is just Burns to hit a little lazy fly ball. He'll take a double play.
Tied him up. That's right where he wanted that pitch, with Butera setting up inside. And now Chris Young is about to throw his 40th pitch in the second inning. Foul ball. The A's have scored more than 4 runs one time, and this is their 12th game. The Royals on the other side have allowed 4 runs or more only one time. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, nobody out. Well, remember, you can celebrate the 2015 World Series Championship. Order your own piece from the Royals official fan collection, including rings, pendants, cufflinks, and more. Shop online at royals.com/fanrings. So Chris Young has walked 2, and both times the hitter was down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Now batting, shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
And now the bases are loaded with nobody out. Marcus Semien comes to the plate. He was the first to walk once the count at one point was 0-2.
And it's not like Chris Young isn't trying. I mean, but he wanted Burns to hit a fly ball, and he just missed up in the zone.
Semien scored on the Josh Reddick 3-run home run. One ball and 1 strike. Got him to chase it. 1-2.
This is a big hitter here for Young. Again, second hitter in a row ahead in the count. Got to finish him off.
Dylan G heads to the mound in the Royals dugout, or bullpen rather. Fouled away. The hope is, of course, that Chris Young finds it, is able to pitch deep into this game. But if that doesn't work out, they've got plenty of rested long relievers in the bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alonso singled. Phegley reached with an infield single on a little confusion on the infield, and then Burns walked to load the bases. Here's the 2-2, just outside. And Semien, who's not someone where you would immediately think about his power, he's hit 4 home runs. Into left field. Alex is there. Tough sun field, but Alex finds it. So Alonso scores from third to give the A's a 4-1 lead. And Semien picks up an RBI. And now runners at first and second with 1 out.
Young had him off balance there, but he left it up.
Number 22.
So now it's Reddick with 2 on for a second straight inning. And this is Reddick in the first with a ram drive of the game.
Man, he pulled his hands in nicely there. That fastball was up and in, and he just pulled his hands in and barreled it. This is a hitter here in Reddick that's well prepared. He knows he's looking for a high fastball here, but not here. He wasn't looking for it in close to his body, but look at the hand positioning. Now he just was able to turn with his upper body, but the hands stay close to the body, and that's how you're able to get around on that pitch. And he got another one. Didn't get it.
Fuentes to the track. That will advance 2 runners, and the Royals will gladly take that, as he was very close to another 3-run home run. So Phegley goes to third, and Burns moves up to second base.
Oh man, that would have been a backbreaker there. Almost the same place, just a little more elevated. And Reddick couldn't quite get on top of that with his top hand. But did you see Ray Fuentes' throw from the warning track? One hopper almost threw out the speedy Burns. Man, Fuentes, he has some skills.
Danny Valencia off the end of the bat. Kane started back, but he's able to correct, and that's the inning. So all things considered, not that bad, as the A's have the bases loaded with nobody out, and they get 1. Their lead is 4-1. But it's early. The Royals are coming up in the third inning. When this series is over, the Royals are back in Kansas City. They'll have Monday off.
and then begin a 6-game homestand on Tuesday against the Tigers, who are 6-3. And the Tigers have already had an injury situation develop. Our University of Kansas Hospital injury report. James McCann, and the Tigers have been waiting for an opportunity the past few years to make him their regular catcher. Alex Avila is now with the Chicago White Sox, but McCann hit first base awkwardly and sprained his right ankle, so he is down. Mike Moustakas at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Moustakas fouled out to third in the first inning.
This game's early. Royals down by 3, and some teams would think, well, Sonny Gray's pitching. He's the ace. This score is going to hold up, but not the Royals. The Royals, they're not out of any games. That comeback ability that's established in their organization, the big league team here, you can find a way.
3-1 on Moustakas. Lorenzo Cain picked him up in the first inning. Moustakas batted with Escobar at second base and nobody out, and Moustakas popped out without advancing Escobar, but Cain singled to center to get him home. Of all the things the Royals do well on that list, and near the top of that list, is picking each other up. So as angry as Moustakas may have been about not getting his job done, it didn't last very long because Cain picked him up. In the air to right field. Reddick is back, and he's got room.
Moose almost picked up his 4th home run. Just would have got a little bit more of the middle of that ball, he would have had it. 1/4 of an inch. That's it. Sonny Gray likes to throw the cutter and his 4-seam fastballs inside. Likes to challenge it. He missed with that one, left it out over. Curveballs down. Sliders. Not very many changeups.
Lorenzo Cain on a tough pitch, and with 2 strikes in the first inning, put the ball in play and hit a ground ball up the middle. Driving in Alcides Escobar. Cain has driven in 2 in this series. He has 6 RBIs on the year, and 5 of those have been on this trip. On the ground to Valencia, who gets a big hop, and 2 down. Sonny Gray would like to have a quick inning and try and drive his pitch count down. He is still at 50 in 2 2/3 innings.
Eric Hosmer.
So Eric Hosmer with 2 down, and Kia puts us in the driver's seat as we look at Eric Hosmer's 6-game hitting streak. Batting .385, driving in 4, scoring 5. Sonny Gray struck him out with a fastball in the first inning. Hosmer hit an impressive home run to center field in the 9th inning last night, giving Wade Davis 2 runs to work with when he took the mound in the bottom of the 9th, and Wade Davis had his first 1-2-3 inning of the year.
Nice slider. He struck Hosmer out on a fastball that had some life to it. When it's up in the zone, it's going to go away from the left-handed hitter.
2-1.
Let's take a look at some Hosmer swings and some highlights. One down the left field line at home. This one here, now we're in Houston. He put on a hitting clinic. Oh, going the opposite way. That was beautiful. And this one here last night was just dangerous. Thankfully, he got up underneath that, and he just missed that one. Son.
Davis having some trouble out there, and he found it. That's the toughest part of the Coliseum for a day game, left field. Just ask Alex Gordon about that. So Sonny Gray has his first 1-2-3 inning, and it is a very sunny day in Oakland. The A's lead 4-1.
Royals baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. 70 degrees at first pitch in Oakland. That's a look back across the bay at San Francisco. That's where the Royals stay when they come to Oakland. So a lot of people, I'm sure, have dinner plans when the game's over tonight back in San Francisco. Stephen Vogt is the third straight A's leadoff man to reach with a single. He is 1 for 2. And now the A's in 2+ innings already have 6 hits.
Well, they're finding some holes off of Young. There's no doubt about that. And the designated hitter today, Stephen Vogt. Last night, Chris Coughlin have taken Billy Butler's role as a full-time DH for the time being. Billy could change that by getting hot. It's the one thing that could change. And it's early in the season. Billy is not hanging his head. He's just waiting for his next opportunity.
Jed Lowry singled to center in the first inning. Oh, and 2. There's Billy.
Standing next to the hitting coach, Darren Bush, and that's what Billy does. He can hit. He knows it. And he's just going to have to be a little more productive. But you know, he said, in the meantime, I'm cheering my teammates on.
It was a year ago at this time that the A's were in Kansas City, and this is what Royals fans did for him before his first at-bat. Billy got his American League Championship ring during that series. People will tell you that, in the last 20 years at least, the loudest ovation that one single player has received at Kauffman Stadium was Billy Butler during the All-Star game in 2012.
I'll never forget it, but my young boys at the time will never forget that. They were like, wow, Daddy. And so we went home after that All-Star game, and the boys were in the car chanting, Billy Butler. And my son, they bought Billy jerseys, and they're not the only Butler fans. But you know, it's tough when you change teams that late in your career and you've only been with one team your entire organization. It's hard.
Line to right field. It stays up for Fuentes. So Lowry lines out to right, 1 away. Remember, this season at Kauffman Stadium, Buck Night is on Thursday. So come enjoy the Royals, save some cash while enjoying delicious hot dogs and peanuts for just $1 a piece. Get your tickets now for the next Thursday Buck Night against the Tigers. And we continue to remind you that weekday games in April and September are an hour earlier. So for the upcoming Tigers series, when you're accustomed to showing up at 7 o'clock, all 3 of those games, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, will begin at 6, with the first pitch at 6:15.
2 excellent baseball teams coming to the K. The Tigers for 3 and the Orioles for 3. Good thing about it is, for you hungry Royals fans, there's plenty of tickets. Go get you some. Players feed off of you.
1-1 on Chris Davis. Young struck him out in the first inning. That looked like a swing. And it was.
That's one of the things Billy told me. Man, you know, you don't appreciate something till you're gone and you go to another marketplace and nobody knows who you are. All they know is you got a big contract, big money, and you're not producing, and they let you know about it. So he walks back to the dugout, and his own fans are yelling at him. So I said, hey, look, you know, it's not the first time you've gone through that. So just don't do anything you wouldn't normally do. Keep your head up and just keep working. Don't let anybody steal the joy of you being a big league ball player, because it doesn't last long, Billy. He says, yeah, man, I'll tell you what, I miss the fans in Kansas City.
Good pitch, had Davis reaching. And Kane makes a play, 2 down. You know, many will say that that's when Kansas City fans really got reinvested in baseball and really started to be heard as a group. The ovation for Billy Butler, the ovation for Chipper Jones, who said, you know, I always wanted to play in Kansas City, didn't get a chance to, and then he came on as a pinch hitter in the All-Star game. Robinson Cano saw the other side of that by snubbing Billy from the home run hitting contest. And then, you know, right on that list, at the end of that same season, Miguel Cabrera had a chance to win a Triple Crown, first time since 1967. And in order to accomplish that, the Tigers finished in Kansas City, and they gave him a huge ovation. There was a huge spike in attendance, and I think, you know, the fans said, hey, you know, we got an impressive young team here. I think it gave the players a lift. The next year, the Royals were 10 games above 500, and the year after that, they were in the World Series.
Yeah, let me go back to that Miguel Cabrera deal. The Kansas City Royals fans made that whole thing a very special time for Miguel Cabrera. I went up to him. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They curtain called him. Leland brought him out after the game, or in the 9th inning, so that people could give him a round of applause. And like you said, the tickets, there were a lot of walk-up tickets because people wanted to see history. You know, and Cabrera, he was taken over. He was overwhelmed with the love that we gave him. And the next season, I asked him about it. He said that totally made it. He goes, I went home in the offseason and said, man, I wouldn't mind playing for them.
Moustakas goes out. Gordon comes in. Mike Moustakas says, put my play on the highlight reel. That is a third baseman going into the outfield like Alcides Escobar. And who's the first to greet him as he's going back to the dugout? Escobar.
Watch this face plant by Moose. Look at the focus. Look at him. Had to block the sun. Oh, man. That's a tough belly landing. Ah, how does that turf taste? What a play, Moose.
And Eric Hosmer discussing the play that Moustakas just made to put an end to the bottom of the 3rd inning. A play on Yonder Alonso. You don't expect a third baseman And you certainly don't expect a Moose to make a play like that.
He's been watching Escobar with the sense of urgency going after a ball. And he wanted that, just like we've seen Escobar. Whenever these guys, they really focus on going after it, they want it. And the Moose did some grazing on the grass here in Oakland, Alameda. Watch the face plant. Ooh, man, we got it. This angle's better. Whoa, took a bite out of the turf to the Moose, and he robbed a hit from Alonso. Excellent job, Moose. Way to give it up for your teammates. And he had to block the sun. He's battling the sun. The degree of difficulty on that play was extreme.
It's a good thing he didn't have sunglasses on.
Wow.
Morales pulls it foul. Kendry struck out looking in the first inning against Sonny Gray. Man, just the defensive plays on this road trip can fill up a highlight reel.
I asked Ned Yost today what he liked better with Escobar's play. The one that he made last night where he went one direction, stopped, and went back the other barehanded, threw him out, or the one in Houston. That'll be a tester.
And Sonny Gray is over there. And Fegley makes a play. This is the one place where maybe you have to stretch the rules a bit in allowing the pitcher to catch a pop-up, because there's so much foul ground. He might be the only guy who can get to it.
Yeah, so, and he's pitched here before. He knows. See him. He took a peek both at Valencia and Fegley. And this ballpark, players will tell you, has the highest blue sky in the league. And you hear that and you go, what does that mean? Well, a lot of ballparks, the stands go higher, and so you don't see as much of the blue sky because they're taller. This is a spread out Coliseum here, so it's round and it's small, and so there's a lot of blue air up there. Easy to lose the ball. Blue air, I mean blue sky.
One and one to Alex. He grounded out to the first baseman Alonso in the second inning. Remember, we were talking the other day about Yordano Ventura when he was pitching in Houston, and how in 2015 he really simplified his mechanics and needed to go with more of a stepping back motion this year. Well, Sonny Gray, you can kind of call this pitching out of the windup, but more and more pitchers are doing what Ventura did last year. That's his windup. Now, he can't do that when he's pitching out of the stretch. David Price is another pitcher whose footwork is just minimal around the rubber. I mean, that's essentially pitching out of the stretch. But it didn't work. It didn't work for Yordano Ventura.
It's amazing how they can generate by just the little movement, but the balance that they get in the lower half, the torque they get. And pitchers don't push off the rubber. They use that for a balance point, but their mechanics are all in sync and tight, and they have very good arm speed, especially Gray.
Go back and watch black and white films of the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I mean, those pitchers are, with their arms, you know, they're winding up like they're going to fly out of the ballpark.
Remember Paul Bird? He used the throwback windup.
Royals had Ross Ollendorf in spring training this year, and he had that throwback pitching motion. But now guys are trying to simplify as much as possible. That is the third strikeout for Sonny Gray. This second time he has struck out a Royal looking at a fastball. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks had that as a borderline pitch.
Omar Infante.
2 down to Omar Infante. Sorry, Hud.
It's okay. Scouting report on Sonny Gray's fastball. 4 and 2 seam. He's got some late life to his 4 seam. His 2 seamer has some sinking action. Aggressive inside to left-handers. He's coming in. You got to look in there on. And righties, that's a nice little slider down there. It's either a slider or a cutter.
And his curveball is so good that that's always got to be in the back of the mind of a hitter with 2 strikes, right?
Exactly.
You can sneak a fastball by him.
But he throws the curve in the bottom of the zone for a majority of the pitch of the curves, and he's going to bounce him. So he's using that pitch to chase. He wants him to chase it. Smart pitcher, no doubt, and he's got 5 pitches he works in there. Dale Swain was telling me before the game he'll be a tough guy to figure out. Nobody, well, I gotta say, not nobody. Hardly any hitting coaches come to the ballpark at 12 o'clock and go right on the film in the film room for 2 hours and are watching film of the opponent that night, the pitcher they're going to face, getting every little detail, every pitch, every arm angle, and Dale Swain prepares all that for these hitters, and they have their meeting every day on it.
Two and two on Infante. He grounded out to short his first time up. That is a fair ball, or now a late call by home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott. I think he's going to say that Infante fouled it off of his foot.
Too bad.
He didn't call it right away.
No, but the hitter will tell you Infante didn't go because he knew it hit off of him, but he says, well, if you're not going to call it, it hit off his arm. He knew it. See, he didn't go, and then he saw the ball stay fair, and he went, maybe they didn't see it. That's what you do. That's a smart veteran move there. He would have had a base hit. Now the hard part is, after running all the way down the line, getting your breath. Because you're breathing heavy. It's hard to focus and concentrate on that pitch coming in when you're breathing heavy.
Still 2 and 2. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Ray has thrown 70 pitches in 3 2/3. Base hit left field. Omar Infante has hit in 8 straight games. And beyond that, he has hit safely in 9 of the 10 games he's played in this year.
Oh man, that was a fastball right over the middle of the plate. Just what he loved. And he was short to the ball with his swing and perfect contact. When you're hot and you get that feel, stay in there and keep looking for that pitch.
Ray Fuentes with 2 down. He had a good looking swing down in the count 1 and 2 and went to left field for a 2-out single.
He'd like to get a Sonny Gray fastball and drive one out of here.
Off of Fegley. Infante to second base.
Man, what a throw.
Safe. Infante somehow avoided the tag of Simeon.
Man, I thought they got him. Fegley, from his flat-footed, picked up that ball and just heaved it.
Just missed. And Infante did a good job of recognizing where Simeon was, and he slid to the outside part of the bag.
Believe that. That was a good slide.
That's a second pass ball for Fegley in 4 innings. 2 balls and 1 strike.
See, that whole side is open there. He's going for the far corner there. And just missed it.
Almost like he was expecting what Semien did. I mean, he was twisting and contorting his body as much as he could to get his foot to the bag and the rest of his body away from the bag.
Excellent heads-up slide. Now get him in.
2-2.
Ray'd like to have that pitch back.
Full count. So Gray is moving up on 80 pitches. So again, right around an average of about 20 per inning. He cleaned up his pitch count some last inning. Going the other way and foul. Good idea.
Better believe it. 3-2 count. Anything close, don't let home plate umpire Quinn Walcott ring you up. With a runner out there in scoring position, you got to be hacking. I liked it. Anything close, find a way. Got a nice base hit his first time up to left field. Similar swing there to come in here.
Ground ball right side. And
go, send it.
Lowry did not field it cleanly. And Omar Infante going on contact with 2 outs. Scores from second base to make it 4-2.
Mike Jershely. That guy's one heck of a third base coach. He read all that. He saw it. He knew it. He could send Infante because Infante was giving him an effort around third base. He wasn't pulling the parachute out, wanting to stop at third. Nice piece of hitting there, 3-2. Fuentes battling, doing the job. Lowry booted that one, and heck, no way. Let's watch Infante. Look at this effort he's giving him. He's watching it, coming hard around third. Go! Kick it in gear.
Let's see if Fuentes tries to run. Sonny Gray has a good pickoff move. So Fuentes is 2 for 2. And in both at bats, at one point he was down in the count against one of the best pitchers in the American League. Strike to Drew Butera. He reached with a walk in the second inning.
On what, 9-10 pitches? That was a heck of a plate appearance there by Butera. Kind of reminded me of Game 4 in Houston, that big walk he got in that inning where the frenzy hitting was going on. He kept the line moving. That's the value of a guy that can play once a week but can do this. Continue to have, and how many pitches was that?
That was a long plate appearance, and then Alex Gordon came up after that and put the Royals in front. Royals had just tied it on that error by Correa with Morales at the plate. Royals are not known for their walks, but they sure had a lot of key walks in the postseason. When the Royals started that comeback in Game 5 of the World Series against Matt Harvey, that all started with a walk to Lorenzo Cain.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's amazing as little as they walk, but the walks that they had in the postseason were memorable. You could remember them.
Two and one on Butera. With 2 outs and nobody on, Infante singled. He went to second on a pass ball, which is huge now. And Fuentes got him home. When the Royals faced Sonny Gray last year, they scored 4 runs, and 3 of those runs scored after 2 outs and nobody on. So Gray has seen this before. And that's upstairs to Butera. Now the count is 3-1.
Everything seems to happen with 2 outs with the Royals in their offense. And some of those RBIs they get with 2 outs can be demoralizing to the opponent, especially to the pitcher. Keep the line moving.
Butera with a full count, and now Fuentes will be running. Fuentes can really run, so anything near the line or to a gap could get him home from first base. On the ground, deep short. Simeon plants, throws, not in time. Fuentes goes to third. So Butera, for the second time in 3 innings, keeps the inning alive, reaching base with 2 down.
How about it? Well placed. Keeping the line moving. Outer half, little cutter away, past Valencia. Simeon had to bobble and had a little slight bobble that allowed Butera to get that infield knock. And now that is 4 hits and a walk by your 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Bottom of the order doing some damage. Getting on base. Pressuring the ace, Sonny Gray.
Kurt Young is the A's pitching coach, former A's pitcher. Alcides Escobar opened the game with a base hit to right field. He stole second and scored on a Kane single. And then he grounded into a force out to end the second inning. He has Fuentes at third, Butera at first. And Sonny Gray is about to throw his 85th pitch in the 4th inning. So they are pushing him farther, or rather closer and closer to the end of the line.
That's putting the Royals in good shape, because they love to get into that bullpen of the opponents.
Esky takes low.
0 for 7 so far this year. He's due for a hit with a runner in scoring position. Valencia even with the bag at third, knowing that Escobar will try a sneak bunt once in a while.
Grounded to Valencia. And that's in time to end the inning. The Royals do get a run. And it's Ray Fuentes getting it to the outfield. Lowry didn't field it cleanly. And Infante scores from second base to make it a 2-run game. Since Monday has 2 hits and an RBI. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning and welcome in Jeff Montgomery. So the Royals, they've scored 2 runs, but it's been 4 pretty stressful innings for Sonny Gray, and now Chris Young needs to start settling in.
Yeah, you get these runs back, get back in this ball game, chance to maybe settle down and hopefully get your team into the middle part of the game.
That base hit by Fegley, that is 9 base runners for the A's in 3 innings and 1 batter.
Yeah, and the thing about Chris Young, he's really not been in a position where he's been able to put hitters away with the slider. I talked with Dave Island before the game. He's just not executing his slider with the efficiency that he really needs to be able to do. As a result, get a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone. And he's a fly ball guy, but his fly balls, really for the most part, the biggest part of the season, have not really been lazy fly balls. They've had some trajectory to them. So he's got to find a way to get back where he's under the bats a little bit more.
And now the pesky Billy Burns slashes it foul. He's been on base twice. And then there have been 2 occasions where Young's had a chance to put a hitter away. He was 0-2 with Semien in the first inning and 0-2 with Burns in the second, and they both ended up reaching with walks.
Right, and that's what Dave Island was talking about, the fact that he just is not consistently finishing guys off with that slider. His slider's got to finish out of the strike zone in order to be an effective pitch, and that's one thing Chris Young's done a really nice job, especially last year. This year, unfortunately, he hasn't been as efficient with that slider.
And that's very high, 2-1 on Burns.
Whenever we see Young have outings like this, he finds a way to keep his team in the game. He's a guy that will find a way to get in out, but sometimes he'll give up those long homers.
And if you think back to when Chris Young was so effective last season, it would be very quick plate appearances. He would be 3 or 4 pitches, and there were fly balls, easy, lazy fly balls. And they may go to the warning track, but there was never a doubt that they were going to be caught. And that's the one thing we've not seen him really get into, that kind of routine or that rhythm so far this season.
Fegley runs, and it's fouled back. Josh Fegley, the backup catcher, taking off. Dylan G warms up for a second time today. Young has thrown 75 pitches. The A's have had the leadoff man on in all 4 innings. Fegley not running this time, and Burns hits it to the gap in right center field. Fuentes is there. Burns didn't hit it all that hard, and there's one down. That brings up Marcus Semien, down 0-2 in the first inning. He worked a walk and then scored on the Reddick 3-run home run. And then Semien drove in the A's 4th run with a sac fly in the second inning. Slider is in for a strike.
And Ryan, you talk about those leadoff batters getting on, and that's one really difficult thing as a pitcher. If you're able to get the first batter out of the inning, it seems like the inning is so much easier to get through, and oftentimes as a clean inning, when you get the first guy on, it changes everything. And you have to give a lot of attention to the runner at first base, especially for a guy like Chris Young, who's not extremely quick home. Just it changes the entire dynamics of your approach as a pitcher.
Still 0-2 on Semien.
CG getting ready. Look at that guy there, that guy with a hood on there, Danny Duffy. Standing there protecting Dylan from a foul ball coming. You don't see that very often in any ballparks because most of their bullpens are now behind the outfield walls. And this is one thing about this ballpark. The bullpens are exposed. The mounds are out there in foul territory, which are in play and make it very dangerous. They're only pitchers warming up, but outfielders that are running that way for a fly ball.
Usually that's a bat boy with that job, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's nice to see. And Duffy, knowing him, he volunteered for that role. He told the bat boy to go sit down. I'm going to get some sun out here, get a little exercise.
Semien is down on strikes. That is the second strikeout for Chris Young, and now 2 down. Remember, you can hang out with your friends at Kauffman Stadium every Wednesday home game for only $10 if you have your school ID. Plus, enjoy a happy hour special at the Boulevard Grill concession stand as you listen to live local music in the outfield experience. Royals.com/student night for a full list of bands and for tickets. So we have one coming up this Wednesday night with the Tigers in town. Don't forget, that's a 6:15 first pitch. Josh Reddick with a runner at first, 2 down.
Young's keeping that high fastball on him. Reddick hurt him the first time on that high fastball, and then he almost got another high fastball. He flew out, almost had another 3-run homer, and that pitch there was up.
The one that Reddick hit out, if Reddick had popped that pitch up, you'd be praising Chris Young by saying, oh good, you got him to chase one up and maybe out of the strike zone. I mean, that was more good hitting than it was bad pitching. Don't you agree, Monty?
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of hitters are not able to stay inside that ball and get out in front and pull it that way, but sure was a nice piece of hitting. Hated to see that early in the game. That's really been the thing with Chris, is he hasn't been able to get things going because of the early damage in his last couple games.
Not to belabor the point, but if we could watch that again, you rarely see a catcher reach that awkwardly for a pitch that ends up being a home run. Watch Butera. I mean, he's reaching way across his body. That doesn't usually result in a home run. Hit hard and right to Infante. So Chris Young is hanging in there. And in the last 2 innings, the A's have gotten the leadoff man on, but that leadoff man has not advanced beyond first base. As we go to the 5th inning, let's take a Mazda game break. Suddenly the Minnesota Twins are unstoppable. Well, maybe that's going a little too far, but after beginning 0-9, the worst start by far for them in franchise history, Young-Ho Park hits his 2nd home run of the season. And both of his home runs now have been in the 8th. Hit one in the 8th inning at Kauffman Stadium. So Minnesota wins again. They win 6-4 today after winning their first game of the season last night, 5-4. Both wins over the Angels. Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, and Eric Hosmer. This is the 88th pitch for Sonny Gray. He's outside, 2-0. Moustakas has fouled to third. He's hit one to the warning track in right field, and he's made the best defensive play of the game today. Grounded sharply out to Laurie, and that takes a big hop on him. That should be a base hit. Moustakas is on. to begin the 5th. An error. Wow. So apparently Roberto Alomar is the official scorer today.
Yeah, well, Moose hit the ball hard. It had topspin on it. And when the ball has topspin and it's hit that hard, it's easier to take a hop up than it is to stay down. And that's what it did. It ate him up.
So if you like to score as you watch the game, put down error 4 in pencil. I think that's going to be changed.
It should be. It's hit to his left. And that ball was hot. It had some heat on it. It was hit hard.
Did it possibly hit the lip where the dirt meets the grass too? I mean, that adds to the difficulty.
The Royals want to keep taxing that pitch count. Get Sonny Gray out of the game. Here it is again. Ball hit hard off the plate. And not bounced right before the plate.
But to your point, with all that overspin, you're better off if it hits the grass rather than the dirt.
You believe it. And lots of times with overspin, it hits the dirt for the first time. It picks up more speed.
Blocked by Fegley. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hate to keep going back to game 4 against the Astros last year, but again, that ball that Morales hit off the pitcher's glove and it bounced on the dirt and picked up speed and hopped over Correa's glove. Same thing. It bounced on the dirt, it had topspin, and it took off.
Good take. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I guess the physics of it would be is if you hit a ball with backspin, it's going forward with backward spin. But if it has topspin, you got a ball moving forward and the spin going forward. And I don't know if physics would say that it picks up speed, but it doesn't lose speed like it would if it had backspin. Strike 3 called, and Kane, just by reading his body language, would suggest that maybe he was expecting that to be called a strike.
Sonny
may have been low.
Sonny Gray pounds the lower part of the strike zone.
Number 35.
And for a pitcher like that to have the knack to hit the lower part of the zone, that's pretty good, Monty. That's where he wants to miss.
Well, he gets a lot of guys that he locks up in situations like that. He's got great life on his pitches, and they appear to be a ball, and they finish in the strike zone. Now, that one may have been just a little tad below the strike zone, but we've seen 3 strikeout called looking today. And a big reason is because of that late life that Sonny Gray has. And he's not a big guy. He doesn't have a lot of deception, but he's just got this incredible knack of freezing guys up and giving up on pitches.
Just like that first pitch to Haas had him shaking his head. It was a 2-seamer down low below the knees.
Grounded up the middle, past Lowry. Moustakas is going to stop at second base. Eric Hosmer has his first hit, and the Royals have 2 on with 1 out. Here's a stat to support Monty's point. Sonny Gray is usually among the lowest in the American League as far as the percentage of his pitches swung at. I know that's kind of an obscure stat, but if you take every pitcher and you say he throws this many pitches, what percentage of his pitches do the hitters swing at? Gray is usually among the lowest for that very reason. A lot of his pitches start out as balls and end up being strikes.
Well, again, that's just a testament to his ability to pound the corners on both inside and outside. He's really good, especially on lefties coming inside. Remember Greg Maddux, how he throw pitches that appeared to be balls on the inside part of the plate? Or, you know, they were balls, and they would break right back to the inside part of the plate, and he would get a lot of called strikes on those pitches.
Now he's at 97 pitches. And nobody's warming up in the A's bullpen. So this is something we were talking about in the second inning, that while the Royals haven't gotten a big hit driving in more than 1 run, slowly but surely they've been adding to Gray's pitch count. There's only 1 out in the 5th inning, and there's one of those pitches we were just talking about as it arrived Kendrys Morales thought it was inside, and then that late movement to make it a strike.
Well, Morales, he'll make a mental note of that, and he has a chance to give Sonny Gray a nice parting gift if he can get his pitch.
And caught the outside. 1-2. Morales has struck out and fouled out to the catcher. 100 pitches coming up in just 4 1/3 innings. Grounded to first. Out at second base. Double play. 3-6-1. Alonso to Simeon to Gray. So the Royals strand a runner in scoring position. We're halfway home in Oakland. The A's lead 4-2. Talk about that group of fans out in right field. They have a special day on Tuesday, Bacon Tuesday, and in 2012, Jeff Francoeur financed that. He donated the money so that they could buy the bacon for their get-together, and then the year after that, he bought them pizza. So he was a fan favorite here. Jeff Francoeur is usually a fan favorite wherever he goes. So let's see. Saturday, what are they eating on Saturday? We saw some chicken wings, right? They were barbecuing some wings earlier tonight. Well, let's see, what time is it local time here? What do we got, Tito? What time is it? Didn't I say somewhere between 2 and 3 Joel was going to start getting hungry? And there he is. Out toward Joel and Fuentes. A dangerous play, but able to keep that base hit from Valencia in front of him. 2:58 Pacific Daylight Time. Joel, have you tried out the wings? Weren't they cooking wings earlier today?
Yeah, I didn't get any of them, but we'll see if we can work on some of that after this pitching change.
Good talk, Joel.
Thank you.
Good talk. The A's have had the leadoff man on in each of their 5 innings. Well, Chris Young comes out and Dylan G comes in. Chicken wings are on the menu today out in right field. And what's a trip to Oakland without Joel visiting with his best buddies out there?
Yeah, and I don't know that. Well, here comes the Stephen Vogt chant, by the way. I think it's a ripoff of the Sporting Kansas City chant, personally. But still pretty cool, I guess. Anyway, I've been informed that the chicken wings were not this group's. So maybe they don't eat on Saturdays. Not really sure. So they'll cheer on Stephen Vogt. They have not had any mean words for Raymond Fuentes yet, so that is good. All right, so what I've noticed out here is some different faces. Not all the familiar faces that I've seen in the past. What's going on?
Well, some of them decided to ditch us today in a suite, and other ones have moved. But we're still the core is still here for the most part, though.
And I heard, and I never thought this was possible, because I thought these were like the true fans out here. That, I mean, some in the suite, you said? I mean, I thought this was like, these aren't sweet kind of guys out here.
Oh, every now and then we try to take some of us try to take advantage of some luxury things, but some of them did today. I can't do that, though. I love it out here in the bleachers.
Well, it's always good to see you guys. I'm kind of hoping we can get Stephen Vogt out here quickly so it can quiet down a little bit. No offense. But I didn't hear from you guys on Twitter. It's like you're always welcoming.
Well, since you guys won the World Series, though, I thought you were going to be too good for us to not come out here.
Never too good for you guys. Come on. We got the championship belt. Hey, Ryan, this is Josh Reddick's thing, the championship belt, and you mentioned Bacon Tuesday, and right here, signed on this belt on the inside. And there we go. Lorenzo Cain, everybody. How about Lorenzo Cain? All right, anyway, sorry. He's a very good center fielder, by the way. The inside of the belt says, since Tuesday is taken, that would be the reference to Bacon Tuesday. Since Tuesday is taken, I'm making title Thursday, Josh Reddick. So I'll give you the belt back here. But you guys, no matter what, good and bad, you keep supporting this team with the fun and the music and the camaraderie, right?
I mean, nothing better than being out here every day with this team. Yeah, there's been some lean years here lately, but shoot, there's nothing else we'd rather be doing. I mean, we love making music for this team, love supporting this team through thick and thin. We got to be here for the bad times and the good times. You guys in Kansas City know about that quite well. Look what happened to you guys last year.
So there is still a strong belief for your Oakland A's out here. Who's got the best chant? Is Vogt the best one?
Stephen Vogt's definitely the best chant out here. Or when we score runs, we do a "We Love You, Oakland, We Do." That's probably our favorite one. We got to do that a few times earlier. That's a good one we like to do.
All right, well, we appreciate it. Good to see you guys as always. And any good food coming up for the weekend, or are we going to miss this?
No food coming up this weekend, but we'll let you know some good stuff comes up. And who knows, maybe I'll save you something good for next year.
Ryan, I got to admit, if I knew there wasn't going to be any food, I might not have made my way out here.
Yeah, that was kind of a wasted trip for you.
Yeah. Get the exercise in, that's all right.
Have they come up with an official name yet for that section?
Yeah, do you guys have an official name for the section?
Just right field bleacher crew.
Right field bleacher crew.
Sure.
And they got the music, they got the drums.
Very creative.
Yeah, very creative. Hud and I have already been out here because we imagine this, we walked in the wrong door today with Salvi.
Tough play up in the sun, and Moustakas called for it, and he happened to be the only one without sunglasses on. 2 down. Right field bleacher crew.
Reminds me a little bit of back in the day when in Kansas City there were general admission seats in left field and right field. We had a right field GA crew that was maybe not quite as boisterous as this crew in right field, but they were there every night.
They're great. There have been many. That's the left field bleacher crew, I assume. That's what we're assuming they called themselves. But this is a place that has struggled with attendance, and everyone knows they've been trying to get a new stadium for the A's for years. But even on those nights when the crowds are very small, he still can count on the banging of the drums and blowing the horns and the chants, giving this ballpark a little bit of life. Out at second base, Dylan G comes on after the leadoff single by Valencia and retires the next 3. He had not pitched since Sunday. California's East Bay. A lot going on over here. The Warriors are about to take game 1 in round 1 against the Rockets. And here at the Coliseum, the A's lead 4-2. So a good day so far for East Bay fans. Biggest hit, Josh Reddick's 3-run home run in the bottom of the first. That was right after the Royals got a run in the top of the first inning. Oakland added a run in the second. The Royals scored again in the fourth. Alex Gordon will lead off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Dave Darby from Olathe. If the Royals hit a home run, Dave wins $600. If the Royals hit a grand slam, Dave wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Gordon, Infante, and Fuentes are coming up against Sonny Gray, who is over 100 pitches as he begins the 6th inning. And they're going to work now in the A's bullpen with John Axford warming up. Alex goes the other way. Davis fades back, looking up into the sun. And there is one down. Alex is 0 for 3.
Comic-Con fans, join us at the ballpark for the first Planet Comic-Con Kansas City Day at the K on April 24th versus the Orioles. Your theme ticket comes with a Planet Comic-Con themed Royals shirt and game ticket. Cosplay is also encouraged, so come dressed in the costume of your favorite character. You can purchase tickets now at royals.com/theme tickets. That's a good costume right there.
Neon is back in again. We established that during the last homestand. So you can start pulling out all of your neon green tank tops from the mid to late 80s. So they're back in again. 0-2 on Infante. He singled and scored in the 4th inning. And for that matter, you can pull out your shaggy green monster hats as well. They're back in.
It's a beauty. It's a nice look. And I tell you, the Royals won't be too upset when Sonny Gray gets out of this game.
5 strikeouts. 2 down in the 6th inning. And let's look at our sprint trivia question for today. Who has won the most games for the A's since the franchise moved to Oakland in 1968? Are we talking about career wins or single season wins for an individual, correct? Now that's a foul ball. Fuentes already has 2 hits today. Now when Al Broughton is in charge of the trivia question, you always begin with in the house. Is there somebody in the house?
I saw someone in the house last night that may be the guy.
Yep, I saw 2 that could be the guy.
Fight a Blue?
3, maybe Blue Moon on him.
Dave Stewart?
Dave Stewart's my guy.
Okay. How about the guest on your pregame show?
Mark Mulder.
Mark Mulder, was he here long enough? There's Dave Stewart on the closest to us on the screen. Now the general manager of the Diamondbacks with Tony La Russa, who's the president of baseball operations in Arizona.
No,
so any of those the right guess? Crickets. So yes, one of those is the right guess. Guys in the truck have been sore losers with the trivia question this year, haven't they? There's Mark Mulder. He was a guest of Joel and Monty during the pregame show.
A very good guest at that.
If he was pitching today, we would be in the 8th inning, maybe the 9th. There was a game here, and it was a night game. Mark Mulder was pitching for the A's, and it was the equivalent of Friday night fireworks. It might have been the 4th of July, actually. So they had a big fireworks show planned, but the problem was Mulder would pitch these fast games. The game was under 2 hours. The team got out of here because nobody could leave because it wasn't dark enough yet to begin the fireworks show.
And I'm guessing the A's probably won that game, so it was a double bonus for everybody in green.
Okay, so he had 81 wins. Now the game I'm talking about was a game against the Royals. Could you imagine Mark Mulder and Mark Burley pitching in the same game? Wow. Fuentes pops it up. Fegley didn't see it right away. It would have been a tough play anyway, and Fuentes is still alive at 2-2. Once again, Sonny Gray was making himself available for the pop-up.
That's a good little 20-30 yard sprint for him. And Valencia's going to help him get his win. But you know, he hasn't thrown this many pitches all year. 92, let me see. His first start of the season, he threw 97. That's the previous high. So with him maybe having a little heavy breathing, maybe getting a little tired, maybe he leaves a good pitch out over the middle for Fuentes.
Breaking ball strikes him out. So Gray grinds through 114 pitches and gets the A's through 6 innings. That did not seem possible about 2 innings into the game, but there he is. And the A's lead 4-2.
Hey fans, it's time for math.
Baseball is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Downtown Oakland. Here at the Coliseum, the A's have a 4-2 lead. Sonny Gray with 114 pitches gives the A's 6 innings. He had only 2 1-2-3 innings. The Royals had base runners all over the place. And Yonder Alonso, who was really struggling, his batting average was below 100 when the game started, and he was 0 for his last 13. He has a 2-hit game, and that's 6 consecutive innings that the A's have had their leadoff man on.
Well, Dylan G, his job is to try to hold him down and just leave him there for a Royals comeback.
He was a Chevy call to the bullpen in relief of Chris Young in the 5th inning. He faced 3 and retired 3. Pitching for the first time since Sunday when he went 2 scoreless against Minnesota. This is just his 2nd appearance of the year. And there's a good slider away against Josh Fegley.
Yep, he'll go 88 to 92 with his fastball. He's got a sinking and running. Sinking fastball, slider, changeup. cutter and a curveball, but he's a guy who really relies on his command. Yes, excellent command.
Ground ball. Oh, and Escobar doesn't field it cleanly. That had double play written all over it. So it's an error on Escobar, and the A's have 2 on with nobody out for the 3rd time in 6 innings.
Yep. He executed a pitch. G.
Center fielder.
Was thinking he got out of it, and Escobar just couldn't handle it.
Now 2 on for Billy Burns. The A's think, or the Royals think he's going to bunt. The corners are way in, and he puts it down. Gutierrez plays to first, and Fonte goes over to cover. Alonso to third, Fegley to second. 2 to 4 on the sacrifice, and 2 in scoring position for Marcus Semien.
Well, we talked about it, how the A's don't like to typically sacrifice an out to move the runners. That's not their style. But when you got a guy like Burns who can bunt, and you already have a 2-run lead, why not move him over?
The only thing I'd answer to that, Hud, would be Burns is going to be as difficult as anybody to double up, and that's what's going to, that's what you're guarding against the most with 2 on and nobody out. But as we've learned with the Royals, and maybe it's the same with the A's, sometimes the players just do it on their own because that's what they're most comfortable doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing you learn at an early stage in baseball, and you develop that style. And I think Burns is that type of player.
And Dylan G jumps ahead 0-2 on Marcus Semien. Dylan G began spring training as a non-roster invitee to big league camp. About midway through, the Royals put him on the roster. Grounded right to Infante. So with the infield in, no chance for Alonso to score from third. And there are 2 outs.
You mentioned earlier about the Royals and their ability to pick each other up. Escobar, how many great plays does he make? How many runs does he save? And so right now, it's like they're going to intentionally pass the hitter Reddick, but Escobar looking to be picked up right here and get out of this inning without any of the errors, runs showing.
And Escobar is going to make that play 98 out of 100 times. And yet, listening, Monty, to your interview with Mark Mulder, you and Joel talking to Mulder before the game and describing the Royals defense, he said something that may seem obvious to some, but hasn't been articulated the way Mulder said it. Is, boy, the Royals are very good defensively and they make some spectacular plays, but as a pitcher, you don't expect spectacular plays. That's icing on the cake. All you want is a defense that makes the routine plays.
Right. Every time you work hard to get a ground ball, to get an out, or potentially a double play, you expect those to be made. Sometimes it can really set you back if you have to get 4 outs in an inning or 5 outs in an inning. And here G's in a situation where he's potentially going to get out of this inning picking up Alcides Escobar. But you're right, that's not going to happen very often with Alcides Escobar playing defense behind any pitcher on the Royal staff.
And because they are so good with the spectacular plays, we don't talk that often about how reliable they are with the routine plays. Driven to center field, Kane is there. So Dylan G does indeed pick up Alcides Escobar as Valencia lines to center, and at the end of 6, it's still 4-2 Oakland. old Oakland Bay Bridge alongside the new Oakland Bay Bridge. They are slowly dismantling the old one. So if you're in Oakland and you come to the tunnel there, make sure you stay to the left. Because if you take a right, you're going to end up in the bay. Panera takes us around the league. Minnesota's won 2 in a row after beginning the season 0-9. The Indians are leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Cleveland's trying to go up above 500. The White Sox are off to a good start. They are 8-2 to match the Royals. They're just getting started at Tampa Bay, and it's the Tigers at the Astros. Justin Verlander and Colin McHugh later tonight. Detroit is 6-3. So if Cleveland hangs on, the Royals, or the Central rather, will have 4 of the 5 teams above 500. There's a look at Sonny Gray, who's done after 6 innings and 114 pitches. And John Axford takes over in the top of the 7th inning. He'll get Drew Butera, Alcides Escobar, and Mike Moustakas.
Axford will go 90-96 with his fastball. He's got a good lively arm. Occasional slider and a big curve. He likes to use that curve.
Chevy called to the bullpen for the A's. Two and one on Butera, who's had 2 impressive plate appearances in the 2nd and 4th innings. Walking and reaching with an infield single, both with 2 outs to keep the inning going. .95 at the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just outside. 97.
Yeah, he's staying with the fastball on Butera, the number 9 hitter, who's had a nice day. A walk and a knock for Butera. That's a little too close to take, but he got away with it. But he comes back with another one.
This is Butera's first start of the year, and the first day off for Salvador Perez. The Royals are back at it again tomorrow afternoon, and then a day off on Monday. So Salvi will get 2 days off over the span of 3 days. Into left field. Davis is there. 1 down. Tomorrow, NASCAR Sprint Cup racing heads to Bristol starting at 11:30 a.m. Central, only on Fox, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
When do they come to the Kansas Speedway? That coming
it's
up?
Usually late summer, early fall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Labor Day-ish.
Yeah.
Mike Swanson came up to me last homestand and said, "Hey, Hud, do you want to go drive one of those NASCARs out there at the Speedway sometime in April with me?" And I said, "What? Are you kidding me? That'd be awesome." So I thought that would be something before the race, but the guy said it's in the fall.
Have you driven a car like that before?
I have. California Speedway, they invited me out there one time.
How fast did you go?
It was a blast. I did 160.
What does that feel like on a big track like that? Does it feel like 160?
You're going left the whole time, so there was a lot of pull on the left arm, and keeping it on top was tough, man, because it's all left turns. And when that thing's going 160, you know, that's a lot of torque. It was interesting. It's like remember the old days when you used to have the little slot cars and you would race them. You know, they go around that track. I mean, you felt like you were in a slot car. You were flying. Of course, there was I had a driver or a passenger, a guy sitting over there, and he would grab my right leg, my accelerator leg, and pull it off because I was going too fast.
2-2 on Escobar.
I'm glad you just made left turns.
Yeah.
No question. It was pretty scary.
It comes in handy if you think about it for a right-hand batter like you, because you're used to your left hand being your bottom hand and your right hand being your top hand, right? You got some strength in that position.
It's a great experience. I hope to get it again.
Escobar chase that breaking ball down and away. 2 up, 2 down for the Royals in the 7th inning. How about you, Monty, all those years? Have you driven out at Kansas Speedway?
I have not had the great experience of doing that. Sounds like a lot of fun.
You would love it. Now, one experience that I'll never do again is fly with the Blue Angels in one of those F-16s. I'll never do that again.
Why?
Oh, it's like being on a roll.
You didn't make the mistake of having a big breakfast that morning, did you?
No, and I thought I could hold my cookies in. I thought it was going to work, but man, until that last turn home when he pulled 7.5 Gs, and I woke up after he started going straight.
Did you pass out for a while?
I did. It just went black on me.
I think George Brett did that one year at Luke Air Force Base, didn't he? And he was a bit pale when he got out of the plane.
Oh man, I got out of that airplane. I felt like I went through a week's workout. I mean, it was unbelievable. That beat me up.
That's my speed right there. If they want to take me out to Kansas Speedway, I'd be happy right there.
Look at that baby.
Whoa. Mike Moustakas is 0 for 3. He should be 1 for 3. He reached with an error in the 5th inning, which they have not changed. It looked like a bad hop on the second baseman, Jed Lowry. He was also flied to the warning track in right field. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Axford, mainly 2-pitch pitcher. Above average fastball and then that big curve. He's a veteran. Another one of the newly added relievers that Bob Melvin added to his team.
And he has spent some time on more than one occasion as a big league closer. Out to Simeon at short. And that's the inning. 3 up, 3 down. It's stretch time in Oakland. And the A's still lead 4-2. In the series at 1 game apiece, they are 6 outs away on defense in doing so. Tomorrow, final game of the series, final game of the trip. Chris Medlin, who really battled to get a win in Houston, will go up against Chris Bassett. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 2:30 Central Time with our pregame coverage, and the first pitch is at 3:05. Dylan G came on after 1 batter in the 5th inning for Chris Young. He has pitched 2 scoreless innings. And now pitches to Stephen Vogt, who cranks it into deep right center field. And gone. And the A's have a 5-2 lead as Stephen Vogt hits his 2nd home run of the series.
Well, he misses on the inner half of the plate. You miss with Vogt, and it's elevated. He knows what to do. Short, compact swing, and knows how to lift him. Yeah, nice little natural uppercut to that swing.
Jed Lowry 1 for 3. Stephen Vogt had not homered before this series, and he only had 1 RBI. And now 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored in the first 2 games of the series. And now Lowry pulls it foul past first base coach Mike Aldretti. Former roommate of Rex Hudler.
That's right.
Mike Aldretti.
On 2 teams. Good guy. Aldo got his start out here in San Francisco with the Giants. He was a young Giant. He's from this area.
Went to Stanford.
Had a nice career.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's another guy who went to Stanford, Jed Lowry. First round pick of the Boston Red Sox out of Stanford. How do you feel when you are drafted in the 1st round and then the next day the scout that signed you gets fired? It's kind of a mix of emotions, isn't it?
Depends on how young you are. If you're a young kid out of high school, you're like, wow, well, you don't know what happened.
That's what happened with Lowry when he was at the Red Sox. Drafted in the 1st round one day. The next day, the Red Sox fired that scout.
Wow. That's maybe insulting a little bit.
Yeah. Lowry didn't quite get it. Fuentes goes into right center field. And there are 2 down. So the A's have 5 runs today, Monty. 4 of those on 2 swings.
Yeah, we're going to look at 2 different swings from left-handers. Early on in the 1st inning, Josh Reddick's going to get a pitch up and in, which typically for a lefty, really difficult pitch to pull, keep the ball fair for the home run. And Stephen Vogt, a little more typical for a lefty. A lot of times that down and in pitch is really the nitro zone. That's what Vogt gets there for the solo home run.
The A's have had a slow start altogether on offense this year, but they do have 12 home runs in 12 games. One ball and 1 strike on Chris Davis. He is 0 for 3. This is just the 2nd time in 12 games for the A's this season that they've scored more than 4 runs. And it's just the 2nd time this year that the Royals have allowed more than 3 runs. Royals carried a 4-game winning streak into today, and in all 4 of the wins they allowed exactly 2 runs in each of those 4 games. Out to Infante. Davis is out, 2 down in the 7th inning. And now Yonder Alonso, who was hitless in his last 13 at-bats. And he has 2 hits today. 2 for 3 with a run scored. And it's still early, so you get 2 hits in a game, and you add 40 points to your batting average. Wouldn't that be nice in August?
Sure would. That's when that 1-for doesn't get you anything. 2-for. Once you get over 200 ABs, it starts going up slowly.
2 balls and no strikes. Two and 1.
It's good for Dylan G to get some work in here, Monty. Closing in on 40 pitches. And give him an opportunity to stretch it out some and work on some of his pitches.
Yeah, when you're a long man on a team that's won 8 out of the first 10 games, oftentimes work will be scarce. So almost like being that backup catcher behind Salvador Perez, you got to really find ways to stay sharp, and so far G has looked good.
And now Alonso is on with a 2-out walk. That's G's second. His first walk was an intentional walk. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service, allowing you to watch every out-of-market game live in HD at home, in the office, or on the go. You'll get real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch-by-pitch tracking, and more. MLB.TV Premium also includes a free at-bat premium subscription. Josh Fegley pops it up. A lot of foul territory. Hosmer shades his eyes from the sun and brings it down. So 3 innings for Dylan G. He allows a run on the Vogt home run. To the 8th, the Royals are down by 3.
Hey, A's fans.
In the Bay Area, the A's have a 5-2 lead as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And let's answer our sprint trivia question. The Kansas City A's moved to Oakland in 1968. Who has won the most games for the A's since then? Hud, you go first.
I'm going with Monty's pick.
Okay, what's
Dave
Monty's
Stewart.
pick? Dave Stewart. Monty, you? Okay, now Monty's changing his pick.
Well, if Hud's going Stu, I got to go Catfish.
Catfish. I'm gonna say Tim Hudson.
Wow.
Drum roll, please. One of the 3 of us is correct. Kane takes ball 1. Attaway, Monty. Only because Hud stole your original idea.
I bumped you.
That.
Well, we had the in the house clue, and I'm thinking, well, his number's hanging out there.
Okay.
He's in the house in some form or fashion.
Okay. See, but what you have to do with Al is you have to manage the in the house or the in the house deke. You know, like someone is in the house, and so do you take that bait or do you ignore?
Sorry, it's hard to figure him. His mind is brilliant. It's very large. A lot of knowledge in there.
His mind is very large.
It's big. He's got a big brain. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Al, are you aware that you have a large mind with a lot of stuff in there? He is now. 3-1 on Kane. Lorenzo drove in the Royals run in the first inning. The Royals have scored in the first inning in 4 of the 6 games on this trip. But the A's came back with 3 in the bottom of the first and added a run in the second and just got one in the 7th. Royals have not had a hit since the 4th inning. In the air to center field. Now Burns fights that bright sun and that high sky, and he hangs in there to make the catch. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the KC metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack.
35, Eric Hosmer.
Salvi will be back in there tomorrow afternoon with Chris Medlin on the mound. Royals had 9 base runners in the first 5 innings. Now to Lowry at second base, 2 down. They've had 0 base runners in the last 3. Sonny Gray is in line to win his 2nd game of the year. He allowed 2 runs in 6 innings, but it was a battle for him to get through 5 innings. And then he finished strong, 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 6th with a couple of strikeouts. And now Axford has done a nice job out of the A's bullpen. Bob Melvin on the right, chatting with Kurt Young, the pitching coach, on the left. Now 2 down to Kendrys Morales. Last year the A's had an awful bullpen. They had the highest earned run average of any bullpen in the American League. They brought in pitchers like Axford, Ryan Madsen. There's their closer, our Toyota League leaders. On one hand, the A's have thrown a lot of innings out of the bullpen. There's a base hit for Morales, the Royals' first hit since the 5th inning. Typically, over the long haul, a lot of bullpen innings is bad. The Royals proved that you can win doing that last year, but here are the numbers comparing to last season. Highest ERA and highest percentage of inherited runners scoring in 2015 as Doolittle prepares to come into the game. But they've had good work this year. They have not allowed 1 inherited run to score. And Doolittle will try to extend that as he comes on to face Alex Gordon with 1 on, 2 out in the 8th. Comes into his head-banging heavy metal music, and there are the head bangers out in right. Doolittle did not get the job done last night. He came on with the Royals leading 3-2 in the 9th inning and promptly allowed a home run to Eric Hosmer to make it 4-2, and that was the final. This is a save situation for him here if he can finish off this inning and pitch the 9th, although now Ryan Madsen begins to throw in the Royals bullpen. So on to pitch to Alex Gordon with Morales at first base, 2 down, and it's 1-1 on Alex. Hud, I have an assignment for you.
Okay.
Let's get to the bottom of the right elbow positioning of Sean Doolittle when he's in the stretch.
You got it.
Probably always pitching out of the stretch.
You got it. We're on it.
Alex stays alive at 1-2.
Fastball slider. Hosmer saw that fastball last night down the middle. We didn't have an exact exit miles per hour on that ball, but I'm going to say it left at about 110 miles an hour.
Had some heat on it for sure.
Ooh, man, that's some exit speed. Fastball straight could be hit.
Two and two. Doolittle started his professional career as a first baseman, and he wasn't bad. Usually when a guy makes a switch to pitcher, they're really struggling as a position player. Just missed, 3 balls and 2 strikes, but Sean Doolittle had a 22 home run season in the minor leagues. That was 1 year after being drafted by the A's in 07, but he had some knee and wrist problems, and in 2011 became a pitcher and eventually a big league closer. High in the air, right center field. The sun could give Burns and Reddick some trouble, and Reddick is there to end the inning. So Doolittle gets the job done this afternoon, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland still leads by 3. The Royals are down 5-2. And as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Moose. Wow. Go ahead, extend yourself, man. Do a little belly and face plant. That was an excellent play. Pitchers love that kind of effort when you play behind them.
Danny Duffy takes over in the bottom of the 8th. In the dirt to Billy Burns. Danny Duffy is on for the 5th time, and he returns to the place where he won his first big league game. Gosh, that was 5 seasons ago, June 14th of 2011, when Danny picked up his first win here, with about 150 people making the trip north from his hometown in Southern California. And with Danny on the mound, we need to wish his father a happy birthday. His father, Dan, is 60 today.
Nice.
And he's here.
Happy birthday, Dan. As Salvi would say, congratulations on reaching the 6th floor.
2-1 on Billy Burns. And his dad, when Dan's here, man, he is in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there's Danny's wife, Sarah, on the left part of the screen, getting a chuckle. Burns is out on a soft liner to second base. Dylan G just went 3 innings out of the Royals bullpen. That's the longest outing for a Royals reliever this year. He gave up 1 run in 3 innings. The A's scored 4 runs against Chris Young in 4 innings. And now Duffy in the bottom of the 8th, pitching to Marcus Semien, who only missed that by 10 inches. No balls and 1 strike. Semien has scored a run and driven in a run. Got him with that same pitch again. 0-2.
Yep, Duffy is a much more polished pitcher, like as expected. 5 years more of experience since he got his first win, but sure is a valuable piece to Ned's bullpen.
3 pitches. Down goes Semien.
Beautiful.
Remember, you can get your own piece of hardware on Saturday, a week from today, as we celebrate the 2015 run with a replica World Series trophy giveaway presented by Pepsi. It's for the first 20,000 fans through the gates, which open at 4:30. Get your tickets at Royals.com or 1-800-6-ROYALS. That's a game with the Baltimore Orioles. Ball 1 low to Josh Reddick, who has the biggest hit of the game, a 3-run home run in the first inning. Fouled the other way, 1-1.
I have a birthday wish I'd like to get out there to Haley Higginson. Happy 15th birthday, Haley. Sam Abramson's niece. Glad you're watching. Hallie Higginson.
Two and 1. Slice to the left field line, and Alex makes a play inside the line, very close to where Ryan Madsen is warming up. And it will be the former Royal coming on to face the lower third of the order, with the Royals down by 3 to the 9th. We'll call him the birthday boy, 60 years young, Dan Duffy, with his wife Deanna. Danny Duffy's mom and dad. Deanna was as big of a baseball influence on Danny. She played in men's baseball leagues and used to catch Danny in the backyard. So happy birthday, Dan, as we head to the 9th inning. And an old friend, Ryan Madson, is on the mound. Let's go to Joel. Right?
Absolutely. And Ryan Madson, well, maybe, you know, he can help Dan get a birthday present and maybe get Danny a win here. But Ryan Madson, very good guy. Our Mazda Game Break takes a look back. What a special year he had last year, coming back after 3 years out of the game. Pitched 3 scoreless innings in the World Series. Such an important part of the Royals last year. And Ned Yost presented him with his World Championship ring yesterday. I had a chance to ask him about it, and he said it's just absolutely beautiful. He loved it. He said Ned thanked him for all he did, and Ryan said, I thanked him for giving me the opportunity. It was his 2nd World Championship ring. The first came with the Phillies in 2008. He said that one was easy. This one was a lot more difficult. Long road back for a guy dealing with health problems and issues and trying to get back into the game. Thought it was over, and what a story to come back after so many years gone and be a world champion.
And he is a first-class human being, Ryan Madson. Just a joy to be around last year. Yeah, the first one was just his 6th year in the big leagues. And he issues a leadoff walk to Omar Infante. So good start for the Royals, down by 3. But as Joel mentioned, Ryan Madson in 2011 had 32 saves for the Phillies, far and away a career high. But he missed all of 2012 with an injury. He pitched in 1 game in 2013 in the minor leagues. He missed all of 2014 and then came back as a non-roster minor league player in spring training of 2015 and ended up pitching 68 innings with a 2.13 ERA and earned a 3-year contract with the A's this past offseason.
Yep, congratulations. And Bob Melvin's giving him a chance to get the save here if he can. Try.
You know, nice little feather in the Royals cap, Hud. The Royals had 3 minor league invitees in spring training that all ended up with big league contracts this year. Ryan Madson, Joe Blanton, and then very late in spring training, Franklin Morales with the Blue Jays. Ground ball right side, and Lowry has it go off of his glove, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out. Ray Fuentes is 3 for 4.
Have a day. And for Lowry, not one of his better days. Not showing the best of range. He missed a couple from Sonny Gray, and he just can't quite get to this one and bend over enough to get it. And the official score is going to give him an error.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a couple errors they've given him. And he's looks like he's a little shy with range to his right and to his left.
Interesting looking at the A's defensively last year. You know, we spent a lot of time talking about defensive run save, which is a number that's gaining some traction, trying to measure defense. On one hand, the A's made the most errors in the major leagues. So you go, wow, terrible defensive year, right? Well, they were on the plus side in defensive run save. They were 8th in the major leagues in that department. Salvador Perez comes off the bench to face Madson. Almost got hit on the elbow. So Fuentes is not 3 for 4. He is 2 for 4s. Lowry gets an error.
Salvy's got a few big hits as a pinch hitter. Could get one here. They all know Madson's got that fastball, 88 to 94 slider, and that great changeup. He had a good rip.
By the way, that's the 2nd error charged to Lowry today.
Hasn't been one of his better games.
No. However, with a different official score, those also could have been 2 hits. And I think that's what Salvi was looking for. Man, got a pitch 90 and up. Maybe that was just a little too high.
So you know, Salvi caught him all last year. He's got a great changeup. You think he'll use it here? We'll see. Salvi's trying to think. Just because you know what the guy throws doesn't make it any easier.
The other way, Lowry picks that one. So when he needed to make a play after a shaky day at second base, he starts a 4-6-3 double play, and that immediately takes the Royals from having the tying run at the plate to the tying run back in the on-deck circle. Infante goes to third.
Yeah, and that wasn't just a routine play either. Now that ball was hit hard by Salvi. Short hop Lowry, but he was right there. Of course, that's the best place to hit it to him today is right at him, because his range to his right and left is a little bit shaky. But he'll take that one.
Alcides Escobar. Fastball for a strike at 95. Esky opened the game with a single. Then he stole second base and scored a run. He is 1 for 4 today. Madsen asked for time as a little hot dog wrapper blew onto the field, and right in front of home plate is a distraction. Madsen has 2 saves. Doolittle has 1. So Bob Melvin has been using Madsen as the closer. Esky up the middle and into center field. So it's 5-3, and once again the tying run comes to the plate.
Nice focus by Escobar, getting his second hit of the game. Fastball right down the middle. Great swing. Right back where it comes from. Came in 92, left about 100, maybe upper 90s.
Moustakis is 0 for 4. One of his outs was a fly ball to the warning track in right field. Mixture of "Let's go Oakland" and "Let's go Royals." It was started with a "Let's go Royals" chant. Now there is a "Let's go Oakland" chant, but it's been amusing over the last 2 years when Royals fans on the road begin a "Let's go Royals" chant that the home fans have to invent a "Let's go" chant. Escobar runs, and Moustakis swings and misses to make it 0-2. No stolen base. 25,564 have already had something to cheer about today. They're Golden State Warriors next door. Won by 26 over the Heat in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Or excuse me, the Rockets, the Houston Rockets. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 104-78. The Warriors are trying to go back-to-back like the Royals are. But a couple of defending world champions on the property today.
Yep. Can Moose silence this crowd here with 1 swing?
Staying alive, 1-2.
Madsen using primarily fastballs. He hasn't used many changeups. Likes to throw it against lefties because it fades down and away from him.
In the dirt. 2-2.
It's down low there.
Side of the infield is mostly wide open. Shortstop Simeon plays behind second base, and we know Moustakis will use that left side, especially with 2 strikes. Just if he gets a pitch down and away, try and poke it through over there and get Kane to the plate.
I'd like to see him blast one out of here and tie it up. The Royals never give in. They never quit.
makes the play. So a rough day for him for the most part, but in the ninth, he is partly responsible for all 3 outs. Josh Reddick had the biggest hit of the game, a 3-run home run in the bottom of the first inning. And the A's even the series with a 5-3 win in Game 2. We'll be right back.